Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of numismatics and exploring the incredible history and value of the 1967 Lincoln penny, a coin that many people overlook but holds a significant place in American history and the evolution of coinage in the United States. This journey is not just about the metal or the minting, but about the era, the economy, the politics, the people, and the reasons behind the creation and characteristics of this particular penny. As we embark on this extensive exploration, we begin in the early 20th century when the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 under the direction of President Theodore Roosevelt, who sought to beautify American coinage and add historical relevance to everyday currency. The Lincoln penny was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person and not just a symbolic figure. With Abraham Lincoln chosen to commemorate his 100th birthday and to reflect the strength, unity, and leadership he brought to the nation during its most divided era, the designer Victor David Brenner was a skilled sculptor and engraver who based his portrait of Lincoln on a photograph taken by Matthew Brady, one of the most famous Civil War photographers. The original design included Brenner's full initials VDB on the reverse of the 1909 coin, but due to public controversy, it was removed shortly after and replaced with a more modest placement on later issues. From the very beginning, the Lincoln penny was more than just currency. It was a political and cultural statement, and over the decades it underwent several changes both in composition and design, particularly during wartime periods when copper was diverted for military use, the most famous example being the 1943 steel penny minted during World War II. Fast forward to the mid-1960s, a time of transformation, turmoil, and technology in the United States. The country was experiencing the civil rights movement, the space race, and the escalation of the Vietnam War. These societal pressures were reflected in every aspect of American life, including its coinage. During this time, the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to produce enough coins for a growing economy, while also dealing with rising costs in metals and inflation. The Coinage Act of 1965 had just passed, eliminating silver from dimes and quarters and introducing new clad compositions. The penny, however, remained copper, but with subtle changes to its composition and production methods. The year 1967 is crucial because it falls in the heart of this transitional period, and coins from this year carry not just historical but also potential collectible value. Now let us explore the physical characteristics of the 1967 Lincoln penny. It was minted at a time when the U.S. Mint had temporarily removed mint marks to prevent coin hoarding by collectors. As a result, all 1967 pennies were minted without any mint marks, even though production occurred at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin weighs 3.11 grams, is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right on the obverse above his head. The inscription, "In God We Trust," appears to the left, is the word liberty, and to the right is the date, 1967. The reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which was added in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Replacing the original wheat ears that had graced the coin for 50 years above the memorial are the words United States of America and the phrase E pluribus unum and below. The memorial is the denomination 1 cent. The memorial reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo and offers a small but notable depiction of the seated Lincoln statue between the columns of the memorial, which is a detail that many overlook in casual examination of the coin. The 1967 penny is generally considered a common coin in circulated condition, but like many coins, its value increases significantly depending on its condition and whether any errors or varieties are present. Now let us delve into the production process and minting anomalies of the 1967 Lincoln cent. During the 1960s, coin production was heavily mechanized but still subject to quality control issues and die wear that could result in interesting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die clashes, among others. Collectors prize these errors for double dies off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die clashes, among others. Collectors prize these errors for their uniqueness and rarity, and some 1967 pennies with such anomalies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and clarity of the error. In particular, the double die obverse is one of the most sought-after varieties in the Lincoln Cent series, and while no major double die, Variety is officially recognized for 1967, minor doubling and machine doubling can still be found and are of interest to collectors with a keen eye. Another point of interest is the preservation and grading of Lincoln pennies. From this year, coins that remain in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch premium prices due to their sharp strike, luster, and minimal handling marks. Collectors and investors alike look for full red specimens which have retained their original coppery sheen as opposed to brown or red-brown examples, which indicate varying degrees of oxidation over time. It is also worth noting the coin market is dynamic, and the value of coins can rise or fall depending on demand, economic conditions, and the popularity of certain coin types or errors in the media and auction results in recent years. Online marketplaces and auction platforms have made it easier than ever to access coin sales data and track the going rates for high-grade 1967 pennies, as well as those with dramatic errors or proof-like qualities. Speaking of proof coins, it is important to clarify that 1967 saw the continuation of special mint sets instead of traditional proof sets due to a moratorium on proof coin production from 1965 to 1967 to deter hoarding. The U.S. Mint issued these special mint sets which offered higher quality strikes than regular business strikes, but not quite the mirror-like finishes of proofs. These SMS coins were struck using polished dies and show sharper details and better finishes than circulation coins, and while they are more abundant than traditional proofs, they are still valued for their uniqueness during this transitional period. The packaging of these sets also reflects the era, with simple government-issued plastic holders and cardboard inserts with minimal design in terms of historical context. The 1967 penny is emblematic of a nation undergoing rapid change and modernization. It serves as a numismatic window into the era's challenges and innovations, and even in its simplicity tells a story of adaptability, resilience, and the enduring legacy of Lincoln's image in American culture. Whether you are a new collector, a seasoned numismatist, or simply someone curious about the coins in your pocket, the 1967 Lincoln penny offers a fascinating case study in both monetary history and collectible value. As we continue this video, we will now look in more depth at population reports, auction results, and diagnostic tips for spotting high-value examples. We will also walk through some hands-on coin comparisons and demonstrate how to use a magnifier or USB microscope to detect subtle varieties and evaluate condition. Stay tuned as we continue uncovering the legacy of the 1967 Lincoln Cent in this comprehensive deep dive into American coinage, where we dive deep into the fascinating and often overlooked world of coin collecting. Today, we're embarking on an in-depth journey through the legacy, history, and significance of the 2021 Jefferson Nickel, a modern piece rooted in decades of tradition and change. The Jefferson Nickel, first minted in 1938, replaced the Buffalo nickel and quickly became a mainstay in American currency, with a design dedicated to the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. It was the work of artist Felix Schlag, whose vision of Monticello Jefferson's iconic home on the reverse and a distinguished left-facing portrait on the obverse marked a new chapter in U.S. coinage over the decades. The nickel has seen only a few major design revisions, most notably during the Westward Journey nickel series in the early 2000s, when the United States Mint commemorated the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. These Temporary changes highlighted Jefferson's role in American expansion before returning to a refreshed portrait of Jefferson in 2006, sculpted by Jamie Franke and featured on the obverse of the modern nickel, which leads us to the 2021 Jefferson Nickel, an issue that may seem ordinary at first glance, but is packed with details, minting quirks, and a numismatic legacy that collectors should not overlook. The 2021 Jefferson Nickel continues with Franke's forward-facing Jefferson portrait, a significant departure from Schlag's original profile, which symbolizes a more personal and direct connection between Jefferson and the people who use this coin every day. The reverse features Monticello still refined and more crisply detailed compared to earlier versions, capturing the neoclassical elegance of Jefferson's Virginia estate and offering collectors a consistency that bridges generations. What makes the 2021 Jefferson Nickel especially notable isn't just the design, but the context in which it was minted amid a time of change for the U.S. Mint and the global economy. The coin shortage that began in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic still had effects rippling into 2021, causing unusual patterns in coin circulation production and collector demand. This environment created both opportunities and challenges for collectors. Mintages were substantial, but distribution was uneven, sparking interest in searching bankrolls and change for pristine examples, error coins, and rare varieties. Now let's talk about the varieties and mint marks of the 2021 issue. Coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each offering something different to collectors. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark and are often the most common yet still desirable in high-grade condition coins from Denver. Carry the D mint mark and were produced in large quantities with a reputation for sharp strikes and detail. The San Francisco coins, however, were produced specifically for collectors in proof sets, known for their mirror-like fields and frosted devices. These proof coins are the pinnacle of quality, showcasing the Jefferson design in a way unmatched by circulation strikes. We also have to consider the possibility of errors, which is where things get exciting for seasoned collectors. While the U.S. Mint maintains strict quality control, occasional mistakes occur, leading to coins with doubled dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, and other anomalies that can greatly increase a coin's value and appeal. And yes, even in 2021, several of these errors have been discovered and documented across various mint facilities, leading to a surge in interest for roll searching and error hunting. But let's go even deeper. Let's talk about how the nickel itself represents a convergence of history, artistry, and economics. The 5-cent piece, although simple in denomination, has carried the face of a founding father, the architecture of American ideals, and the silent testimony of changing times in alloy and design, from wartime silver nickels to modern clad compositions. The Jefferson Nickel speaks to America's resilience and its commitment to legacy, even in everyday objects. Analyzing the die creation process, we see how hubs and dies are used to stamp millions of coins each year, yet each die is unique and can suffer wear, tear, and microscopic differences that define varieties. These varieties in the 2021 Jefferson Nickel include examples of repunched mint marks, subtle doubling in inscriptions, and more, making each coin a tiny historical artifact for those with the patience and knowledge to recognize it. Understanding the grading of Jefferson nickels also plays a critical role for serious collectors. From circulated, condition to mint state and beyond coins are evaluated on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 65 and above considered gem quality. The 2021 issue being recent offers many high-grade examples, but not all are created equal, with strike sharpness, luster, surface marks, and eye appeal all factored into the grade, and thus the value and rarity of the coin. The market for 2021 nickels is dynamic, influenced by supply, demand, and the collector community's social media role. Hunts and YouTube videos like this one contribute to rising interest and help bring together hobbyists who share finds, tips, and knowledge. Every 2021 nickel you examine could be a learning moment and perhaps a hidden treasure, as we explore coin by coin, roll by roll, detail by detail. We see the Jefferson nickel not as a mere monetary tool, but as a reflection of American culture, artistry, and identity. And when you hold a 2021 nickel in your hand, you hold a piece of that living history, minted in a time of uncertainty, yet rooted in the enduring stability of tradition. And now, as we begin our deep dive into each aspect of the 2021 Jefferson nickel, from the minting process to varieties to market trends and historical echoes, I invite you to stay with me on this numismatic journey where every detail matters and every coin tells a story that continues to unfold one nickel at a time. The numismatic community places strong focus on errors and varieties. In 2021, nickels and several error types have already surfaced, including off-center strikes where the coin blank was not properly aligned with the dies, leading to partial designs. Visible planche errors such as improper alloy mix or lamination cracks have also been found, along with machine doubling, which may appear similar to true doubled dies but lacks the raised distinct separation. True doubled dies occur when the hub imprints the die more than once in misaligned fashion, and these are rare and valuable among the 2021 nickels. A few doubled die obverses have been reported with doubling in the inscriptions, like Liberty or in God. We trust, though not officially confirmed by the major grading services, yet this has fueled roll hunting efforts across the U.S. and created buzz in online forums and numismatic publications. Let us not overlook the importance of coin roll hunting in the modern age, a method accessible to beginner and advanced collectors alike. With the 2021 nickels still in active circulation, banks and cash-based businesses are fertile ground for finding unsearched rolls. Collectors often acquire boxes of nickels directly from banks and sort through them to identify high-grade examples, errors, low mintage issues, or simply build full date and mint mark sets. This grassroots-level collecting continues to fuel the popularity of Jefferson nickels, especially among younger numismatists who document their finds on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok and bring fresh enthusiasm to the hobby. Educators also use the Jefferson nickel, particularly the 2021 issue, as a teaching tool about economics, American history, art, and metallurgy. Jefferson's legacy provides a gateway to discuss the Enlightenment principles that shaped the nation, while Monticello invites conversations about architecture, politics, and even the contradictions of a man who wrote about liberty, yet owned enslaved people. The nickel therefore becomes not only a collectible object, but a catalyst for deeper discussion and reflection on the country's past, present, and future. Market trends for 2021, nickels remain fluid, and as with most modern coinage, the majority are worth face value in circulated condition. However, coins that grade MS-67 or higher with full steps on Monticello command strong premiums. The full steps designation refers to uninterrupted detail on the steps of Monticello, indicating a sharp strike. Coins with 6 full visible steps are extremely desirable, and even small blemishes or weak strikes can disqualify a nickel from this elite status. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC track these population reports and auction prices and provide up-to-date guides for collectors seeking top-tier pieces. Collectors also watch for packaging and set inclusions. The 2021 Jefferson nickel appears in annual mint sets, proof sets, and silver proof sets, and each version offers slight differences in finish and presentation. For example, the silver proof set includes a nickel that is standard in composition, but included with silver counterparts, creating an interesting contrast and collecting opportunity. The packaging and certificates of authenticity included with these sets can also add collector value, especially when preserved in mint condition. Finally, we explore the historical echo of coins like the 2021 Jefferson nickel as currency continues to evolve with the rise of digital payments and cashless transactions. Coins like this one may become less common in daily life, yet they endure as cultural artifacts, symbols of shared national experience, and quiet carriers of tradition. Whether you are a beginner intrigued by a shiny nickel in your change or a seasoned numismatist analyzing die Polish lines under magnification, the 2021 Jefferson Nickel has something to offer. It is a coin rooted in legacy, born in an era of uncertainty and minted with precision that tells a story far greater than its denomination suggests. Roosevelt Dime, 1977. Where today we embark on a comprehensive deep dive into the rich numismatic history of the 1977 Roosevelt dime, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carries decades of historical significance, national symbolism, economic transitions, and evolving minting technologies that shaped not just American currency, but a cultural legacy surrounding coinage in the United States of America from its earliest conception to the mid-1970s and beyond. Our journey begins in the early 20th century, a time when the United States was moving through dramatic economic and social changes. The Great Depression had already left its mark, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt emerged as a figure of hope, leading the country through the turmoil of economic collapse and then into the fires of World War II. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States, left an indelible impact on the nation through the New Deal program's Social Security, the fight against polio, and his unprecedented four-term presidency, making him not only a political titan, but also a beloved symbol of American resilience and determination. It was following his death in 1945 that a national consensus grew around memorializing him in a permanent way. And what better way to honor his legacy than to embed his image into one of the most widely circulated and universally recognized coins in American pockets and wallets. Thus, in 1946, just 1 year after his death, the United States Mint introduced the Roosevelt dime, replacing the winged Liberty Head dime, commonly known as the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916. The Roosevelt dime was not only a tribute to the late president, but also a symbol of the March of Dimes campaign, which Roosevelt had supported in the fight against polio, a disease he himself battled for much of his adult life. The coin was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time, and the obverse bore Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, while the reverse featured a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Over the next 3 decades, the Roosevelt dime remained largely unchanged in design, but underwent significant shifts in its metal composition and minting techniques. Originally minted in 90% silver and 10% copper from 1946 to 1964, the coin experienced a pivotal change with the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and replaced it with a clad composition of copper and nickel due to the rising cost of silver and widespread coin hoarding. This act marked the beginning of the modern clad coin era and set the stage for the production of dimes, like the 1977 Roosevelt dime. Now, arriving at the year 1977, we find ourselves in a complex economic environment shaped by the aftermath of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and a stagnating economy marked by inflation and unemployment. Coin production during this era was both a necessity of circulation and a statement of stability and continuity in a nation searching for confidence and national pride. The Roosevelt dime continued to be minted in vast numbers, with the Philadelphia and Denver mints leading the charge, while the San Francisco Mint focused primarily on proof coins for collectors. The 1977 Roosevelt dime was struck in both business and proof versions, featuring the standard clad composition of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters with a reeded edge and a standard thickness of 1.35 millimeters. Millions of these coins were produced that year, specifically over 375 million at the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the absence of a mint mark over 312 million at the Denver Mint bearing the D Mint mark, and just under 4 million proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark. These figures demonstrate the magnitude of circulation and the importance of the dime in everyday transactions, and yet beyond their transactional value. These coins offer a glimpse into the metallurgical consistency, the production challenges, and the evolving quality control systems employed by the United States Mint during a time when inflation and coin shortages demanded both efficiency and precision. The 1977 Roosevelt dime is also a coin of interest for collectors due to the potential for minor die varieties, mint errors, and condition-based rarities. Though no major design changes occurred that year, collectors often seek examples with strong strikes, full torch details on the reverse known as full bands, and pristine surfaces free from contact marks and discoloration. High-grade examples certified by third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC can command significant premiums, particularly in MS67 and above condition levels. The full bands designation is especially prized as it indicates a well-struck coin showing complete horizontal lines across the torch. On the reverse, a sign of excellence in die quality and striking pressure, which was not always consistent in high-speed mass production environments of the 1970s. Beyond the surface of each coin lies a deeper story of economic transitions, the gradual disappearance of silver in coinage, the rise of coin collecting as a mainstream hobby, and the increasingly complex relationship between citizens and their currency. The Roosevelt dime in 1977 sat at the intersection of heritage and functionality. It represented both a tribute to a president who reshaped the 20th century and a practical tool for commerce in an America shifting from industrial to post-industrial society. It traveled across states, across hands, through pockets and cash registers, vending machines and payphones, making it not just a piece of metal, but a participant in countless stories across the country. As we examine the minting process of the 1977 Roosevelt dime, we must delve into the machinery, the dies, the blanks, and the striking systems used during the era. At this point, the Mint had adopted automated presses and refined its processes to optimize for volume and speed using high-tonnage presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. The dies themselves were engraved with precision, though they wore down quickly and needed frequent replacement. And it is these wear and tear moments that sometimes result in collectible errors such as die cracks, doubled dies, or off-center strikes, which are now sought after by collectors for their uniqueness and accidental artistry. Numismatic communities have extensively cataloged and analyzed the Roosevelt dimes of the 1970s, including the 1977 issues documenting known varieties, identifying scarce high-grade examples, and tracing mint packaging trends for proof sets issued that year. It is through these passionate communities of collectors, historians, and researchers that the 1977 Roosevelt dime continues to live on, not as a mere relic, but as a point of connection between past and present, between currency and history, between the everyday and the extraordinary. Throughout this video, we will continue exploring examples of high-grade 1977 dimes visual diagnostics for identifying full bands and understanding what makes a specimen stand out in the world of professional grading and numismatic appreciation. We will look at close-up comparisons under magnification, analyze real-time auction data, and explore registry sets that showcase the most elite known examples of the coin. We will also take a virtual walk through the economic events and cultural mood of 1977 to better understand the context in which these coins circulated, what they bought, where they traveled, and how they reflected the silent yet vital role of coins in everyday American life. In closing our introduction, remember that the Roosevelt dime is more than just a small denomination coin. It is a miniature canvas of history, artistry, politics, and economic reality, and the 1977 issue is a snapshot of a moment in American history when the past and future of money collided on the thin, round face of a dime. So stay tuned as we continue our in-depth exploration of this iconic coin, its history, its variants, its legacy, and its place in the hearts of collectors and historians alike, only here on Roosevelt Dime 1977.